Māori have always respected our moana, our ocean. It is a significant, powerful taonga, a priceless jewel. It has spiritual and cultural importance. It is part of our identity. Māori fishers and divers often come from generations of hunters and gatherers. It is in their genes, so to speak.
Māori have always predominantly lived by the coast, and then when you had settlers come with European settlers, it was a massive part of our history and sustaining life, particularly in the regional coastal areas. As time progressed, a lot of the regional Māori were pulled to city centres to help generate workers to create cities and job and infrastructure and all that sort of stuff.
New Zealand has a reputation for producing high quality seafood of a wide range of products. The country exports about $1.5 billion worth of seafood a year, and much of that seafood comes from regional parts of New Zealand. Seafood production is a really important part of the rural economy. One aspect that's particularly peculiar to New Zealand is that the indigenous people, Māori people, own around half of the New Zealand seafood industry, and they have a strong association with their ancestral lands in regional parts of the country. Seafood production is particularly important in terms of maintaining that indigenous economy and also growing that opportunity. Unfortunately, that runs counter to the changes that the climate change is starting to wreak on that sector.
Our business, Moana New Zealand, is solely owned by all Māori. Our business relies heavily on tikanga, which is values. So manaakitanga, looking after people, whakatūparanga is money. You know, every business has to have money, but also there's whakapapa, so we look after people, but not only human, but God's creatures. So yes, money is one of our 4 values and things, but we also have people. We've got these other objectives that we need to tick. They're just as important as making money, and they stack up because we're not here for 3 to 6 years, we're here for 100 to 200 years. We're not making moonbeams, but we're at least staying profitable and making work for our people, trying to live by our values and do things right. You know, Māori leadership has really guided us in our thinking and what we do day to day, year to year, you know, decade to decade.
With the European settlers, they brought their own fishing methods as well. Eco-sounding gear made it really easy to find fish. Commercial methods favoured quantity of seafood for their economic value and returns. So as a nation, sadly, it devastated populations as well as the habitats.
The big changes we're seeing in the New Zealand marine environment from climate change, just major changes in global weather patterns. Over the last 2 years, we've had phenomenal what are called marine heat waves, where you get exceptional anomalies, increased temperatures over the long-term average. So we've been getting temperatures of up to 2 to 3 degrees higher in coastal water temperatures than the long-term average, and that's unprecedented. It's had an incredible impact on coastal ecosystems. We've seen widespread death of organisms. We're seeing species dropping out of existence. So, for example, 2 summers ago, the water temperatures in the Hauraki Gulf, just here near Auckland, the major city in New Zealand, were so high that the extensive area of mussel farms, they were losing, the mussels were just dying on the farms and dropping to the seafloor dead. I mean, I've been a marine biologist for 35 years now, which is quite a long stint, and the changes are just remarkable that I've been seeing in the last few years.
To defile such areas as the moana was unthinkable back in my ancestors' day. Our ocean, the planet, the sky, universe, and all the species within, from a cultural Māori perspective, they are all our relations.
So, climate change. I think there's, climate change is a slow-moving beast. I think over the last century we've seen an increase in, they reckon, 1.5 degrees on average. I think we have to be careful whether it's climate change or if it's cyclical. So you have cyclical up and down. So at the moment we're at the end of a La Nina cycle. So La Nina generally brings warmer waters down to New Zealand, and we are seeing the top end of La Nina where we've had warmer currents year on year for the last 5 years. So we're expecting the next 5 years or a period we will go into El Nino where we'll start getting colder currents.
Yes, El Nino and La Nina oscillations do occur naturally. However, those are being amplified by the faults of humans, and dare I say, greed.
It's a nightmare in terms of managing those fisheries. It's really, really difficult. And so I think we're going to see a lot of chaos in a lot of fisheries. We're going to see more fisheries collapsing than normal. So it's going to be a very, very challenging time going forward.
At the moment we're feeling the brunt of it, so we're getting increased cyclone type weather where we're getting bigger storm fronts coming through, a lot more rain, you know, kind of like tropical air. It's quite bad and it's real topical at the moment. But they might change in 2 years. We'll be back to sort of some normality. Yes, there's probably a little bit of global warming, but there's also La Nina. Yeah, it's sort of like everything. There's multiple things there to take into consideration.
Commercial fishers and companies too depend on the ocean as an income for their livelihoods. We shouldn't wait for policies or planning or legislation to make changes. It's in all our best interests, and certainly in the ocean's best interest, to make those changes now.
I think we're too small a bloody thing on this planet and in the universe to, you know, we're basically the cockroaches on the bloody backside of this thing. Look, there's no way that anything that we can do is going to influence, you know. It's a big question, that one, eh? And it's, I don't think scientists are probably baffling over it every day of the week, so.
The industry needs to be a lot more flexible than it is at present in order to meet some of those challenges. And I think it needs to be ready to adapt. There's not much you can do in terms of, you know, if fish stock declines as a result of climate change, you can't magic it back. It's you just got to accept it and move on. So I think there's some major challenges going forward. I don't think the seafood industry generally in New Zealand is going to look anything like it does now in 30 years' time.
People need to change. We need to build resilience. We need to learn from the past to move forward in order to make long-lasting impact. It's going to take all of our generation. Let's do it together. Let's do it for the ocean. I oria te tuatara, ka puta ki waho. A problem is solved by continuing to find solutions. Kia kaha, have strength, everyone.